Good morning and welcome to the Maryland Public Service Commission's administrative meeting for February the 24th, 2021. For the past 2 days, the Commission has been holding hearing sessions with respect to supplier consolidated billing. So third-party suppliers has been on our mind recently. The Commission in recent years has also refocused its attempts to enforce the market practices and the marketing practices of our third-party retail energy suppliers in the state for both electricity and natural gas. I'm happy to report that our enforcement efforts are bearing fruit, and we see that in terms of a number of metrics, but most notably the metric of number of complaints received by the Commission's Consumer Affairs Division. In 2019, we had over 700 complaints. But compared to just last year in 2020, those numbers of complaints have dropped by nearly 40%. And while we only have 1 month worth of information for 2021 at this point, the month of January, year over year, we've seen another 32% drop in complaints from January of 2020 versus January of 2021. A lot of the success of our enforcement program to the staff members of our Consumer Affairs Division and our Compliance and Enforcement Unit. Without those staff manning the phones and reviewing the complaints, the Commission would be hampered in determining who in the retail supply market are running afoul of our rules and regulations. So I'd like to thank the women and men of both CAD and the CEU in policing this very important energy supply market. I'd also like to recognize Ms. Margaret Bradley, who has served in the Consumer Affairs Division for the past 12 years. Ms. Bradley started with us in 2008 after she had retired with the Bank of America after a very long career there. I haven't met somebody with the demure or the temperament of Ms. Bradley in terms of handling complaints from customers who are likely in a either upset or aggravated situation. And just to show how closely we track our statistics in terms of complaints, Ms. Bradley, during her time on the Fast Track Enforcement Unit, handled 14,708 cases. Over her years at the Commission, less than 0.5% of her cases were appealed. So 99.5% of the cases that were handled by her resulted in an outcome where the consumer did not seek an appeal of that decision. She has single-handedly returned tens of thousands of dollars to Maryland consumers, and her presence and force in the Consumer Affairs Division will be sorely missed as she begins her second retirement with us next week. So on behalf of the Commission, Ms. Margaret Bradley, thank you for your service to the state, to the PSC, and to all the consumers of Maryland. Commissioner Linton, I might call you out. I know you've worked with Ms. Bradley in the past, if you'd like to say any remarks.
Absolutely. And thank you for the opportunity, Mr. Chairman. And I had the pleasure of working with Ms. Bradley for many years in a prior position. And I can tell you that she may have had some cases, as the chairman just noted, that were appealed. But I can guarantee you that those customers were probably upset with the Commission's regulation or perhaps an interpretation that I might have given Ms. Bradley to give to the customer. She was a delight to work with. You couldn't have asked for a person that was better mentally and spiritually fit for the position of working on behalf of the citizens of Maryland. If we would have had a whole office full of her, it would have been a wonderful thing. So to Ms. Bradley, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to work with you and to learn from you. There's a lot of the things that I've been able to share in a number of other fields and other places. I was able to get from a few moments of sitting and talking with her, just learning a little about just to observe a little about how she would interact with customers and with everybody. And she was like that all the time. It wasn't just on the phone and then hang the phone up and she suddenly turned into somebody else. That was truly who she is, and she still has a lot to teach. And so I hopefully, and as she begins her third career, wherever that may be, that she keeps all of that with her and continues to keep us in her mind. So thank you very much, Ms. Bradley. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Turning to our business component of the meeting today, we have minutes to approve from our meeting on February 17th, 2021. The vote begins with Commissioner Linton.
Aye.
Commissioner O'Donnell.
Aye.
I vote aye. The meeting minutes are approved. Good morning, Mr. Secretary.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. There are 6 items on today's consent agenda. Item number 1 is from the Potomac Edison Company, consisting of updated standard offer service rates for residential customers. Items numbers 2 through 5 all consist of updated standard offer service rates for type 2 customers from respectively the Potomac Edison Company, Baltimore Gas and Electric Company, Delmarva Power and Light Company, and the Potomac Electric Power Company. And item number 6 is an application from Rishi Parikh for certification of a geothermal heating and cooling renewable energy facility.
Thank you. Seeing no questions on the consent items, I would move that with respect to item number 1, we accept the tariff revisions for filing with an effective date of June 1st, 2021. With respect to items numbers 2, 3, 4, and 5, I move that we accept the tariff revisions for filing with an effective date of March 1st, 2021. And with respect to item number 6, I move that we approve the application and issue a renewable energy facility certification number with the energy savings estimate and direct the applicant to establish a REC account with PJM Gas within 30 days of certification and file a geothermal and thermal biomass generation report with the Commission within 1 week of each recording of generation data with GATS of RECs created, and that we direct the company to file notice with the Commission within 30 days of any change to the information in the application. The vote begins with Commissioner Linton.
Aye.
Commissioner O'Donnell?
Aye.
I vote aye. The motions are approved. Mr. Secretary.
Mr. Chairman, item number 7 on today's administrative agenda is a request from Edward Crooks for approval of the transfer of ownership of Oak Hill Water Association, Inc. to Mr. Crooks. On this item for staff, we have James Greger, and for himself, Mr. Crooks.
Good morning, Mr. Greger.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. James Greger on behalf of staff. This item concerns a filing by Edward Crooks requesting the transfer of ownership of the Oak Hill Water Association to the applicant. Under Public Utilities Article Sections 6101 and 5203, prior Commission approval is required for a transfer of stock or other ownership interest in a public service company. PUA Section 5201 requires Commission authorization to exercise a water system franchise. Section 5202 requires Commission authorization to transfer a water system franchise, and PUA Section 1-101SS defines a water company as a public service company that owns a water plant and sells or distributes water for gain. The Oak Hill Water Association provides unmetered service to residents located in a 10-mile radius of Hawthorne and White Plains in Charles County, Maryland. The system dates from approximately 1960, and ownership is currently with the 55 customers in the community who set rates to meet the water system's expenses. The proposed transfer provides for a sale of the water system, fully depreciated on an as-is basis for $1. The terms of the transfer were approved by majority of the owners on December 31st, 2020. The filing proposes a rate of $42.70 per month per customer, reached through agreement with the current owners, and the filing provides support for this rate. While prior Commission approval is required for the transfer of stock or other ownership interest, since Oak Hill currently does not sell or distribute water for gain, the system does not fall within the definition of a water company that would be a public service company that would require approval of the transaction under Public Utilities Articles Section 6101 and 5203. As such, prior approval of the transaction under these statutes is not required. In addition, Charles County does not grant franchises or otherwise require county approval for any operation of private water companies. While the Commission may authorize a company to exercise a franchise pursuant to PUA Section 5201, the Commission itself may not grant a franchise. Therefore, there is no franchise involved in the Oak Hill Water Association transaction for the Commission to exercise authority over. If the Commission determines that it should approve the transaction, it approves the transfer of water systems based on a public interest standard. For this transaction, the current owners of the system have indicated a desire to transfer the system, and Mr. Crooks, who operates several other small water systems in the county, has agreed to become responsible for the operation and maintenance of the system. This would support a public interest finding for any necessary approval of the transaction. Therefore, staff recommends that the Commission note the transfer of ownership of the Oak Hill Water Association, Inc. to Edward Crooks and approve an interim rate of $42.70 per month per customer. Thank you. Pending any questions.
Thank you. We'll turn to Mr. Crooks on behalf of Water Services Incorporated. Mr. Greger, do you know if Mr. Crooks is with us?
It doesn't look like it. He received an invitation, but I don't see him currently under participants, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Neither do I. Do the commissioners have questions of Mr. Greger? Seeing none, I would move that we note the transfer of ownership of the Oak Hill Water Association Incorporated to Edward Crooks and approve an interim rate of $42.70 per month per customer. The vote begins with Commissioner Linton.
Aye.
Commissioner O'Donnell.
Aye.
The motion is approved.
Mr. Chairman, items number 8 and number 9 consist of revisions to respectively Delmarva Power and Light Company and Potomac Electric Power Company to their Green Rider rates. On these items, for staff, we have Anna Joy Harris and Lloyd Spivak, and for the company, Doug McKeel and Amanda Holden.
Thank you. We'll begin with Ms. Harris, who has updated her name. I was about to call her Ms. Thompson, but thank you, Ms. Harris.
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. Anna Joy Harris on behalf of staff. On February 1st, 2021, Potomac Electric Power Company and Delmarva Light and Power Company submitted proposed tariff revisions to their Green Rider rates to reflect up-to-date renewable energy credit market prices and the Maryland Renewable Portfolio Standard. The Green Rider is applied on a voluntary basis to the plug-in vehicle rate schedule and is mandatory for the public charging plug-in vehicle rates schedule. The proposed rate of 1.934 cents per kilowatt hour is a 21% decrease from the current rate. In our comments, staff stated that this would result in an average cost of a PCPIV charging session decreasing by approximately 6 cents for Pepco service territory and approximately 5 cents for the Delmarva service territory. Staff would like to clarify that the scheduled PCPIV rate is a market-based rate and is set based on market rate analysis of public charging stations in PHI service territories, and therefore, changes to the Green Rider are not added on top of the scheduled PCPIV rates and will not impact the rate that customers pay at public charging stations. Based on the results of the company's market rate analysis that was conducted for the latest EV filing made on February 1st, 2021, PHI did not propose a change to schedule PCPIV rates. Staff recommends that the Commission accept the tariff pages for filing with an effective date of February 28th, 2021. Thank you.
Thank you. Counsel for PHI.
We have nothing to add to Ms. Harris's recitation. Appreciate her work, and we're here to answer questions if you have any.
Thank you. Seeing no questions, I would move that with respect to items number 8 and number 9, that we accept the tariff revisions for filing with an effective date of February 28th, 2021. The vote begins with Commissioner Linton.
Aye.
Commissioner O'Donnell?
Aye.
I vote aye. The 2 motions are approved.
Mr. Chairman, item number 10 on today's agenda consists of a revised gas administrative charge from Baltimore Gas and Electric Company. On this item, for staff, we have Lucy Shea and Lloyd Spivak. for the company, Bev Sikora and John Frayne, and for Office of People's Counsel, Patrick O'Loughlin.
Morning, Ms. Shea.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. Lucy Shea on behalf of the staff. Rider 12 of Baltimore Gas and Electric's BGE tariff provides a detailed description of and calculation requirements for the gas administrative charge, GAC. The GAC recovers the following commodity-related costs by either adding a collected amount or applying a calculated percentage to the following gas commodity-related costs. 1, credit and collections expense. 2, commodity billing charge. 3, storage inventory carrying costs. 4, commodity cash working capital. 5, uncollectible expense. 6, public service commission assessment. In this filing, BGE seeks the Commission's approval to update the GAC charges following the issuance of the final order on December 16, 2020 in BGE's multi-year rate plan proceeding, case number 9645. The GAC is required to reflect the approved test year amounts for the various cost and revenue elements necessary to calculate the gas administrative charge components. A recalculated Commission-approved gas administrative charge is required to be applied to the monthly gas commodity price no later than the first day of the third calendar month after issuance of a final Commission order in the general base rate proceeding. Staff has reviewed BGE's calculation for the GAC and believes it is accurate and consistent with the requirements under the settlement in case number 8950, which requires BGE to file annual GAC updates and also to update after any changes in gas distribution base rates. The effect of the revised GAC on an average residential heating sales customer using 56 therms per month will be a decrease of 1 cent per month, a decrease from the current 96 cents to 95 cents monthly. Customers do not see the gas administrative charge as a separate line item on their bills, as the charge is included in the monthly billed gas commodity price Rider 2. Staff recommends that the Commission accept the new gas administrative charge for filing effective March 1st, 2021. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Shea. Counsel for BGE.
Good morning, Chairman Stanek and Commissioners. Beverly Sikora on behalf of BGE. I also have John Frayne with me this morning. We have no additional comments, but we are here if you have any questions for us.
Thank you. No questions from the commissioners. I move with respect to item number 10 that we accept the tariff revisions for filing with an effective date of March 1st, 2021. The vote begins with Commissioner Linton.
Aye.
Aye. I vote aye. The motion is approved.
Mr. Chairman, items number 11 through 17 consist of Empower Maryland surcharge revisions for respectively Baltimore Gas and Electric Company gas bills, Baltimore Gas and Electric Company electric bills, the Potomac Edison Company, Southern Maryland Electric Cooperative, Inc., the Marva Power and Link Company, Potomac Electric Power Company, and Washington Gas Light Company. On this item, there are various participants, but Ben Baker will introduce them for technical staff.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Baker. I hope you got some rest.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. Benjamin Baker on behalf of staff. Additionally, I have Kevin Mosier, Michael Jang, Paige Shaw, and Nan Zhang of technical staff if the Commission has questions regarding the following items. On January 27, 2021, BGE, PE, SMECO, DPL, PEPCO, and WGL filed revisions to their Empower surcharge tariff to comply with Commission Order 869679. The order approved the Empower Maryland programs for the 2021 to 2023 program cycle and modified cost recovery of Empower Maryland Behavior Program and utility administrative costs. Previously, these costs were amortized over 5 years and a return was earned on them. Now the cost will be expensed over 1 year. This will result in an increase to the surcharge for this year, since the cost of behavioral programs and utility administrative costs will be recovered in a single year going forward. The Commission previously approved all utilities except Washington Gas's Empower Maryland surcharge on December 23rd, 2020. But those surcharges did not expense behavior programs or utility administrative cost. The Commission has not yet approved Washington Gas's 2021 Empower Maryland surcharge. In addition to its January 27th filing of this year, Washington Gas originally filed tariffs on November 30th of 2020 and December 11th of 2020. Washington Gas requested that 2 surcharge adjustments be made that went back to 2015. One adjustment was to align Washington Gas's general ledger to its Maryland program accounts, and the second adjustment was for an invoice that was not charged in 2015. Staff recommends Washington Gas's proposed tariffs be modified to remove any cost adjustment before 2017, since it is outside of the 5-year cost amortization window and would constitute a retroactive rate-making adjustment. Staff worked with Washington Gas when making these adjustments, and Washington Gas agrees with staff's recommendation. Therefore, staff recommends the Commission accept the filing for the proposed tariffs for BG&E, PE, SMECO, DPL, and PEPCO, effective with March 2021 billing. Further, direct Washington Gas's proposed rates as modified by staff, and direct Washington Gas to file clean copies of their tariff with March 2021 billing. Thank you, and staff is available for questions.
Thank you, Mr. Baker. Do any of the utilities wish to respond? Hearing none and seeing no questions from commissioners, with respect to items number 11, 12, 13, 14, and 16, that we accept the tariff revisions for filing with an effective date of March 1st, 2021. And with respect to items number 15 and number 17, that we accept the tariff revisions for filing and direct the respective companies to file clean copies of the tariff revisions effective with the March 2021 billings. The vote begins with Commissioner Linton.
Aye.
Commissioner O'Donnell?
Aye.
I vote aye. The motions are approved. Seeing no additional business on today's administrative meeting, today's meeting is now adjourned. Thank you.